All right, so we're all here to see the amazing Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs. And what has you so excited that you got here first?
Well, number one, Wes Craven. You said it already. I'm a huge fan. And I was sad when he passed away somewhat recently. But People Under the Stairs is one of his more underrated films, and I really wanted to come back and see it in the theater. I'm 35, and I hadn't seen it since it was in the theater originally. And it's a great plot. Has Ving Rhames in it. Filmed in LA, in the Adams District, and just amazing roller coaster of a ride. And I wanted to remember it, and I'm here with a bunch of friends to enjoy it. It's gonna be a good time.
All right. Do you remember how you first discovered it?
Yeah. Well, I loved horror films. When I was in middle school and high school. This is one of the first films my dad let me see in the theater. And I could go see all these. He let me see any horror movie I wanted, but nothing with more sex and normal, that kind of thing. No Basic Instinct, but I could see People Under the Stairs. So,
right? Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Makes a lot of sense, right?
All right, so we're all here for the amazingness that is Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs.
Yes.
And you're here good and early.
Yes.
So what has you so excited that you got here this early?
It's one of my favorite movies.
All right, so turn around real quick because that's a badass jacket. Look at this. That is just incredible. Where did you get that thing?
Craven.com.
Of course. All right.
I got here tonight to represent. I got the original VHS from '91. I'm really excited. This is a movie that really traumatized me. And what is great about horror is that it can leave a lasting impression. And when you have those traumas, you look back. So that's why I wanted to come and see it on the big screen. First time for me in LA, and the first time I think I'm 35. So this is one of Wes Craven's, I think, craziest. So
I would absolutely have to agree. So what has you so excited that you got here this early?
I saw this, last time I saw this film, I saw it on the big screen when I was a teenager living in Sacramento. And it left a pretty good mark on me. And as soon as I heard the Nuart was having it, I had to come down and see it again. Relive some old memories.
So we're all here for the amazing
People Under the Stairs.
Correct.
Wes Craven, who is the great I Am.
So do you remember first discovering People Under the Stairs?
Yes, I was 11 or 12 years old, and it had made its network television debut on TBS. And I had very liberal parents, but they were very strict about what I watched. So yeah, I was from Oklahoma, so you can tell a lot about that. The wind didn't come swooping down my plane, and that's a whole different story. But anyway, it was on TBS, and people give it guff about how laughably edited it was for TV, but that didn't matter to me. I was so drawn in by the story, by the themes that are brought up. I completely fell in love with it to the point where there were additional showings for the next couple of years. Some of them I can remember exactly 3:15 in the morning, and I set my alarm to get up and see it because I loved it that much, and it was always too long before I ever got to see it again.
Good evening. Thank you for coming to Landmark's Nuart Theater, the theater that brought barf bags back in vogue, and the theater that's trying to keep the midnight movie experience alive. Tonight we're all here to see Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs in 35mm to celebrate the films of Wes Craven. We have a pretty good lengthy show for you, so please sit back. First I want to start by mentioning this show is presented by Landmark Theaters and Shriekfest.
Shriekfest!
Shriekfest is the longest running horror, sci-fi, fantasy film festival in Los Angeles. This will be the 17th year in October. This is also the first year that Shriekfest is expanding to another city, and that will be Orlando in late October. Los Angeles, it's the first weekend of October. So the next deadline for submissions for this festival is July 1st. For all you filmmakers and creative types, we encourage you to submit your films, features, short films, original songs, demo reels, screenplays, shorts and features, all of it. I'm on the board of this festival now, but many years ago, my first film played during the second year of the festival, and I've been involved in many ways since, and we're very happy to be bringing you this new series. This is the first one that we're doing here in Los Angeles. Normally we just do new films from up-and-coming filmmakers. Now we're going to start to appreciate some of the older classics of the genre.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we were able to get people for tonight. And the second Shriekfest Presents will be Poltergeist. June 30th, 35mm, 35th anniversary to the month. So I do want to give a few thank yous as well to Landmark Theaters for letting us take over, letting Shriekfest take over for the night. I want to thank Corey Davis, also known as Movie Dude 18, because he brought Scream 2 here in 35mm 2 years ago. And I believe A Nightmare on Elm Street has also played Midnights here as well. Besides that, I'm not so sure if there are any other Craven films, so I'm glad that we can bring him here to the theater. Now, we typically do raffles when we do our late shows. However, tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. For the people under the stairs, we're going to do the prizes under the seats. So check very deep under your seat. If you see people under the stairs postcard, and there are 7 of them out there, please bring them up and I will start handing out some prizes. All right, so for you, we will start with a Shriekfest t-shirt. A women's shirt as well. You go. We'll do 2 mini posters for you. One is The People Under the Stairs and Wes Craven's Red Eye. You're welcome. And The People Under the Stairs mini one sheet is used, but I got it at the pre-opening night screening in 1981 on Halloween night in Seattle. So I hope you enjoy it. For you, we have a Shriekfest t-shirt. So that's 3 of the 7 cards. Has anybody else found a card? Okay, I'll do a trivia question while you guys are looking for those cards. Who knows the Wes Craven movie directed between Shocker and The People Under the Stairs? Go ahead.
Deadly Blessing?
Not Deadly Blessing. I would love to get that one to play here, by the way.
Really a movie.
And all the way back.
Invitation to Hell.
It's not The Invitation to Hell. Another good one. Right there in the center. Night Vision is correct. Please come up. Okay, for you, we have another Red Eye, and we have the Nuart special People Under the Stairs postcard. This one is autographed by star Wendy Roby. Nice, another postcard. You will also get an autographed Wendy Roby People Under the Stairs postcard and a Red Eye poster. All right, one more. Any postcards?
We're on it.
Okay, so I don't see anybody who's found those cards. I'll have to find them all tomorrow. Let me come up with one more trivia question, though. Okay, great. Please come up. All right, you get a autographed Wendy Roby People Under the Stairs postcard. A Red Eye mini one sheet. And a Shriekfest t-shirt.
Oh yeah!
All right, thank you for playing along. All right, so next I want to introduce 2 special guests who have joined us for tonight's screening. The first is a producer who first worked with Wes Craven on Deadly Friend as an assistant. And she worked with them all the way through Scream 4 and the Scream television series. Please welcome producer Marianne Maddalena. Second, I want to introduce a man. He was Wes Craven's assistant on People Under the Stairs, and he followed that by being a producer on Wes Craven's New Nightmare and Vampire in Brooklyn. He also edited Wes Craven's novel The Fountain Society, and full disclosure, he also edited my second novel, Turkey Day. Thank you, Jeffrey. Please welcome Jeffrey Fenner. Thank
is
you.
the People Under the Stairs cruise shirt.
Everybody look, he's got the People Under the Stairs cruise shirt.
I haven't worn it in 25 years, but I can find it.
So far as People collectibles as well, if you go out to the lobby, we have a mask that you'll recognize from this movie in a case. You'll see the tarot cards in the box office window that are used in the beginning of this movie, as well as a signed shooting script signed by Wes Craven. There is, in the coffin on the skeleton, he's wearing Fool's shirt from the movie. So these are actual props from the film, as well as all of the other Wes Craven memorabilia. Please take pictures while it's up and share them and tag us all in them. Okay, so first I wanted to say to Marianne, Shocker was the first film of Wes's that you produced, although you also were his assistant on Deadly Friend and The Serpent and the Rainbow. Now, you followed that with Night Visions and then The People Under the Stairs. Now, some of Wes's films hit much bigger than others, but it seems like The People Under the Stairs definitely followed on the goodwill that Wes received on The Serpent and the Rainbow, but even more so. Besides the Scream films, Nightmare on Elm Street and Red Eye, it's Wes's highest grossing movie. I'm curious just how that affected you in your journey with him in making films, how that reception to People Under the Stairs, if it had any, changed things for you.
So the Shocker and People Under the Stairs we did for Alive Films. So it was a 3-picture deal. I think we only made 2. But for me, I mean, obviously Shocker was my first producing credit. And then it was so much fun, and I was just thrown in and did it, and it was fantastic. And then People Under the Stairs was everybody says, what was your favorite movie? Every movie was fun.
Right.
I mean, some were kind of hellish at times, but still everyone was fun. But it was just, it was just Wes was so smart, and he was such a good writer and such a good director. I guess I didn't realize how good he was until now that he's, gone. And you just realize that there's just no one like him. And so every movie was just a really fun adventure. It was just great.
Nice. And Jeffrey, how did People figure for you?
This was the first thing I did from start to finish. So it was exciting to me to see it from really the moment he delivered the first draft screenplay to the end, being involved from start to finish. So I've always loved it.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Where
us.
did you get the idea for it?
They usually come from some real story. I really didn't think this was a story in which there were some kids who were burgling a house and found some.
Right, but I think, wasn't it like in Santa Monica, they found that some parents were keeping kids locked up?
I think so.
I think it came from that.
Just like Nightmare on Elm Street also came from a real newspaper story.
Right.
Well, that's great to know that The People Under the Stairs was born out of the horrors of Santa Monica. Thanks for coming out tonight. I'm curious for each of you, what was the Wes Craven film you worked on that just felt like the most blessed production? What's the one that is easily the one that just
Well, that's
the best
the
memory?
Scream.
Great.
Yeah, because it was, we didn't expect it to be a big hit. But everything the casting was incredible. We shot in Napa Valley, and it wasn't without its problems, as far as like Bob Weinstein craziness. But it was just, we really had no idea it was going to be a hit. So we just had a blast. Everybody, we were all on location. We were all in this hotel together, and Courtney and David fell in love, and all the actors were young, and we were all young and having so much fun and drinking a lot of wine. It was just great. It was just great. And until a week after it was released, we had no idea it was going to be a hit. We thought it was a bomb. Opening night, we thought, first of all, Variety called us DOA 3 weeks before we came out. Because we were opposite One Fine Day and Beavis and Butthead. And then the night we opened, Wes and I went to Universal to see the screening. And no one laughed, no one screamed. We just walked out and said, okay, didn't work. And then we went away for our Christmas vacations, and Bob Weinstein started calling us saying, you know, oh my God, you guys, and we're like, why? We only made $6 million this weekend. But I guess the exit polls were good, and then we went on to, you know, do what we did, yeah. What about you, Joe?
Well, I actually would say Nightmare 7 for me. I was in college when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, and I actually wrote him a fan letter and asked for a job because I loved it so much. So, and that was like my first producing credit, and I couldn't believe that I was producing a Nightmare movie. You know, all these years later. So it was pretty great.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, with the earthquake, with everything that
even the
happened.
world cooperated because you know it had this earthquake in it that was written into it, and then the Los Angeles earthquake hit while we were in production. So we suddenly got all this
Free production
value because we could drive around and shoot.
Yeah.
Really.
It was a brilliant idea. I think that Wes, he somehow, I think Bob Shea, you know, said, hey, let's do a Nightmare on Elm Street. And Wes just could not think of an idea. And he came back to me and he said, how about this idea? You know, like Heather plays herself and Freddie is haunting the real Heather. And I said, Wes, that's just, you know, at the time I said, that's $1 million idea. And it was it. He just had it. He just got it. He just got it. And, you know, it was pretty incredible to watch him come up with such a great story.
Right. Plus, he puts that in the film itself, him coming up with the story.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Did you have, I know a lot of the real life filmmakers were in that, but did you appear in New Nightmare?
No, I directed Wes in his scenes.
All right.
I'm in Red Eye.
Oh, really?
I am in New Nightmare. I have a line. Yeah, I'm in the opening scene on the set. I'm on the phone, and I think I say hello to Heather or something.
Oh, wow.
Right?
It's all over Marianne, A New Nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm in 8 lines.
Show off.
No, but once I'm one of the Freddies on the highway, there's like a whole, she sees like 20 Freddies.
We have a Freddy up here.
So that was amazing. You never know. And I was in the audience of the Robert Englund. There is a shot of me, of him on a talk show. And then I'm hauling buckets behind the, you know, one of the behind the scenes, you know, on set scenes. Lugging buckets on PA.
Nice.
He put us all to work.
Yeah,
on
we did.
that.
That was fun. That was fun.
One of the things I really enjoy about The People Under the Stairs and Wes's films and your films, Marianne, as well, is the political edge that he often puts into it. Not on all of them, but in a lot of them. Perhaps that's most evident in The People Under the Stairs, which seems to be almost as relevant. No, it is as relevant today as it ever was.
The Reagan era.
Yeah, I mean, the villains of People are very much like the Reagans or bred from Reaganomics. And then I also want to mention Marianne's website, MarianneMaddalena.com. Please check it out. I looked at your website, and there's an amazing photograph of you in the Oval Office with the Clintons and Wes Craven. And I'm curious what the story is behind that. Yeah.
Let's see. We did a movie called Music of the Heart. And Music of the Heart, we got to do because Wes agreed to do Scream 2 or 3 or something. Do you remember?
I think it was probably
2. So then they said, okay, do anything you want. And so we chose Music of the Heart, which is based on a documentary called 50 Violins. And we premiered at the White House. And the night we premiered at the White House, Bill Clinton gave us a tour of the Oval Office till 2 in the morning. Because about 10:30, we were in the screening, and then we were all hanging around outside, and they were serving cherry pie, and Hillary said, Bill, why don't you show them your office? And he said, you want to see my office? So you can see Hillary said that a lot, like, Bill, go do your thing. So we stayed there till 2 in the morning. And so then after that, so Harvey Weinstein was there, we were all there, because I think it had been a day where they had a VH1 concert for Save the Music. And we were invited to do a documentary. So we went back about, I don't know, it must have been like 6 months later, and it was 2 weeks before the end of his presidency. And we spent the entire day in the White House. We had carte blanche. I was in, the living quarters alone, just me and Dan Armando. who was also a producer on some of the movies, and just the kind of the butler. I have picture, I have video of their bedroom, just everything, and it was just an incredible day.
And isn't that is actually at the Clinton Library?
Yes. Yes.
He doesn't get credit for it, but Clinton does a tour of like the Lincoln bedroom and everything at West shot. That's at the Clinton Library in Park.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, let's all find Wes Craven's lost political films. I wanted to also, before I open this up to a few audience questions, I wanted to ask Marianne about the Scream the series, and a season 3 has been announced. Is there anything you can tease us about Scream the series? I'm a big fan of Scream the series, by the way, especially season 2. Knocked my socks off.
Fantastic.
And I'm very excited to see what is going to come next.
Well, it's a big surprise, but I mean, I think the wonderful news is they love the idea of a Scream series, and we're rebooting it. So everything is thrown away.
Oh, wow.
And so it's completely new cast, new story, everything. So I think it's kind of exciting. I mean, I just think there's a lot more to do with it, and I think they saw that. So I'm very excited about it, but I'm not allowed to say anything.
Right.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting you to reveal the killer.
But I think it's pretty cool that, I mean, I like the first 2, but I think it's going to be fun. Who gets a chance to reinvent a TV series right away? So I think it's really exciting.
Well, thanks for keeping that going and exciting and alive, and I'm glad that we're going to still see more Scream and more Ghostface and killing in the future. Now I want to open it up for a few audience questions, and I'll bring the mic down to you.
Hi, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I love this movie. It's my favorite of Wes's movies. Yeah, and just as a writer, I had kind of a writer question about how he wrote it. Do you recall if he was super confident in writing the black angle of it, because it's so authentic and well done? Like, as a writer, like, that would freak me out, you know, and he did it so well. Like, it blows my mind whenever I watch it. It's just so good. Like, was he apprehensive about that, or was he like, no, I can write this in my sleep, I can write anything? If you recall?
I think he was pretty confident. He was comfortable. You know, he'd already done Serpent, and then Vampire was yet to come. But I do remember he showed the script to some black friends. Particularly, I remember Penny Johnson was one of them, to make sure that it was going to fly.
That's awesome.
And she did have him change a couple of things.
Ah, all right.
He had the poor fool family eating dog food, and she said they would eat bread with ketchup, but they wouldn't eat dog food. So, I mean, there were certain things that he was like, you know, he was not so sensitive.
No, he wasn't,
yeah. But,
a little different generation.
but he was confident in writing it to start with, but then sensitive to making sure that it was going to play all right.
Thank you so much.
For those who don't know, Penny Johnson, she starred in The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, the original, as well as Night Visions.
And the Larry Sanders Show. She was on that for years, as well as 24. She was just a wicked character on the original 24.
Yeah, and I like the question, in a way this film is the original Get Out.
Yes.
You're calling Get Out of the House. Cool. All right, so another question, please.
Hi, thank you for being here. It's really a pleasure to hear you guys talk. I know that Wes worked with composer Don Peake on the original Hills Have Eyes. I was wondering if maybe there was some insider stories that you could have about how he came and about what happened with Graham Revell's score, because I know both scores appeared in the picture and they both actually, they influenced the picture so greatly.
So what, they both were...
Well, Graham Revell, he was later, right? You found Graham Revell for, I thought for...
Who's credited on People Under the Stairs?
It's just Don Peake.
Don is,
Just
but
Don.
on the end credits, Graham Revell gets a mention.
Ah,
too.
yeah, okay, well, I think, you know, things don't always, maybe Wes wanted some different choices.
He threw
I think
out
that's
some
probably
Don
what it was,
Peake.
yeah.
And he was now already finding
Yeah,
Graham.
yeah, exactly.
My memory is that Graham really hit it with a score for DECCOM that was amazing. And we were working with Philip Noyce.
Right. On
Because he
Nightmare
directed
Cafe.
the pilot of Nightmare Cafe, and he knew Graham Revell.
That
And
was
he
it.
brought in, and he was doing People Under the Stairs while we were doing the pilot of Nightmare Cafe.
Yes.
And that's why you went off with Philip while
Yeah.
Wes was working on this. So Graham kind of came in
Yeah,
as it was underway.
yes.
Thank you.
I have my own theory on Don Peake's involvement. It's because this was another Wes Craven cannibal film.
Yes. Yeah, that's
And Don first scored The Hills Have Eyes in the 70s. Any more questions?
Hi guys, thanks for coming out. What was the funniest thing that happened while on set? It's always those little mysteries you never know about. What was the funniest thing, at least from your point of view, that happened during the filming of People Under the Stairs?
Oh my God.
Do you remember? Funny, like there was,
Well, I mean, I always tell this story because it's just so bizarre that it was true. But we shot in Renmar Studios, which is where they shot The Golden Girls. All of their trailers, they weren't trailers, they had little rooms that were built. By then, it had been on for like 6 years. Every day we walked the production office and it was the 4 Golden Girls. We passed each one of them. And when we had Rottweiler auditions, Betty White came out to make sure those dogs were well treated, and she watched them like a hawk, you know. That's right. So that was very unusual. Hard to picture Betty White watching a Rottweiler.
Rose Nyland on the set of People Under the Stairs. That's good.
Well, and also, they were shooting the Mambo Kings on the same lot while we were doing this, and the Mambo Kings has, you know, that's where I Love Lucy, Renmar was built, it was Desi Lou. And that's where I Love Lucy was shot. And they recreated the I Love Lucy sets for the Mambo Kings because they were on it. And I remember hanging out on the I Love Lucy set, which was done to exact specification. It was pretty interesting. To go from behind the walls, we kind of go have lunch on the I Love Lucy set. So that was a little odd.
Lucy Under the Stairs.
I think it was probably the dog puppet heads.
Oh, there was all kinds of
That was
dog.
pretty funny.
Pretty bad.
Because if you look carefully, which you can do tonight, a lot of the dog biting, it's just a dog puppet head. Right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but, you know, there's a lot of dailies that look pretty gnarly.
Yeah, really, really bad, but you can't tell in the movie.
Yeah, I think they're pretty convincing in this film.
Yeah.
However, in the original Hills Have Eyes, you'll see some very, very fake-looking fake dog heads. Any more questions?
I remember a while back that there was, I don't know if this was a rumor, if this was true, if it got canceled, but there was going to be a sequel to this, or where AJ Langer was going to come back to reprise her role. Was that a rumor? Was that confirmed and then canceled, or?
I think it wasn't a rumor. I think it was a couple of years ago. It was going to be a TV series, correct?
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I think Wes was pretty ill at that point, so it didn't continue. But it wasn't a rumor. I don't know about AJ, because she, lives in England and she's a countess.
Yeah.
So, but it's still a role, so, but, yeah, no, they were really trying to put it together, but it didn't work out.
Wow, imagine that. The People Under the Stairs, presented by Ovaltine.
I mean, they probably don't know she's like the lady.
Yeah.
The Lady Courtney. Now.
Lady Courtney of Powderham Castle. Did you guys know that?
I know she was royalty.
AJ was in Vegas at it was a girlfriend turning 30. It was a party. They were just partying in Vegas, and they ran into a group of guys in kilts. It was a Scottish rugby team, and she met this gorgeous guy, and she was beautiful, and they loved, had a great time. And about 6 months later, he said, "Well, come see my house in England." And they drove up, and it was a castle. And he's now the Earl of Devon. So AJ is the Countess of Devon. And I went to their castle last year. And it's a castle. And it has something like 40 bedrooms, and
It's been featured on Remains of the Day. Yeah, it's in the early scenes of Remains of the Day.
Yeah.
That they're out.
It's pretty crazy. And so if you could look it up, it's called Powderham Castle. Powderham Castle. If you just look at AJ Langer, Countess of Devon, you can read all about the castle.
Were there any scenes that you can recall that were excised from the film?
Well, we did have a notorious scene that was taken out for an R rating, which had Everett eating a liver. You know, he does gut a man, and he ate the liver on film. As you can see that his mouth is covered with blood, like he's just eaten something, but that was removed for ratings. It was. And there was a sequence that was never actually shot, but it's in the script that's out there, which is the whole robbery that sets it all off in the beginning. And I think it was scheduled. They talk about the robbery of a convenience store that leads to them coming to this house. And there was this several-page sequence of that, of
the robbery.
Fool and Ving Rhames and Leroy.
Yeah.
And I think it was at the very end of the schedule, and Wes just decided he didn't need it.
No, it wasn't that.
We ran out of money.
It was that we ran out of money. So there's a joke for years between Wes and Stuart Bester, the line producer. Somehow Stuart talked him out of, was it a liquor store or a convenience store?
Yeah.
And it was always a running joke. You know, Stuart talked him out of it. But he was always bitter.
That sequence was storyboarded. I have a storyboard.
He was very bitter. You do?
I do.
Oh my God. Put that on my website.
Please.
I can send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one more question. I was just wondering, you mentioned working on a documentary after visiting the White House, and I wasn't aware that Wes Craven had made any documentaries, or that you had either. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is the only one. And it was the one I was talking about, where we spent a day in the White House. And we pretty much interviewed President Clinton. Wes interviewed him for about 3 or 4 hours. But he was really, when we changed locations, he would disappear. So we went like from the one room in the Oval Office to another part of the White House. He would just disappear. Clinton would disappear and just get on the phone, and they'd say, "We told you you should have 2 crews." Of course they didn't. They said you can only have 1 crew. And then we got in there like, "You were supposed to have 2 crews because we lost the president." So we had to wait for him to come back, but it was an incredible day, and he was amazing. And I guess what Jeff is, the documentary does appear at the...
I mean, I don't think he was really allowed to take ownership of it. It's not advertised that he did it. I think he did it really because it was an opportunity to,
That was it,
to do the White House. And it's the behind the scenes. If you go to the Clinton Library, there is a documentary of him leading the camera, you the audience around the White House, and that was shot by us.
Yeah. It was we have the only footage ever of their private quarters, during the Clinton era.
Was it released as a documentary?
No, it's only for the library.
Yeah.
It was a piece of history that they wanted.
Where is this library?
It's in Little Rock.
Oh.
Do you know the name of the documentary?
It doesn't have a name.
It doesn't have a name.
It is just the footage. It's the walking tour of the White House by Bill Clinton. That's all it is.
Sadly.
So before I send you both away, thank you both for coming and joining us and sharing your stories tonight. And for you, Marianne, I just want to let you know, I've been such an admirer of your work for so long. You worked with Wes longer and on more projects than Deborah Hill did with John Carpenter, than Gail Ann Hurd did with James Cameron. Thank you so much for everything you've done. I know directors don't do it alone. You need a good producer, and you were there for so many years on his biggest films, and thanks for what you did, and
You're welcome. He was
please keep it
great.
up.
He was amazing to work with. We had an incredible time. It was amazing.
Nice, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, as I take these chairs down and these mics down, I'll share one more Wes Craven story. I didn't meet him at this point, but I was at the 1992 Fangoria Weekend of Horrors here in Los Angeles with my friend Tori Polka, who's down here. Thank you so much for coming. And it was the year that they did the very first Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. And I want to say that I had voted for The People Under the Stairs for Best Film, Director, Actress, everybody. Unfortunately, people lost to Silence of the Lambs, which was the same year. Silence of the Lambs swept the awards. But Wes Craven and A.J. Langer were there. And I kept watching them, and I was so sad when they didn't win anything for The People Under the Stairs. And I remember watching Wes and A.J. leaving the hotel looking somewhat dejected. And I didn't talk to them then, but I wish I had run up and said, I voted for you for everything. And I'll just always remember that. Slightly bittersweet, but fun day. Now, we did try and get some cast members for you to come in tonight. However, we weren't able to. I am glad we got Marianne. However, thanks to Jeffrey, we got a special video message from star Wendy Roby, who plays Woman in the movie. We're going to run that first. She has a special message for the Nuart audience, as well as an on-set story no one knows. So we're going to play this first. Then we're going to go into the Wes Craven 35mm trailer reel. Although it is actually a Marianne Maddalena trailer reel, because all the films on this reel she produced. And then we will go into the 35mm screening of The People Under the Stairs. So thank you all for coming out, for sticking through this lengthy pre-show, and please join us again when we do Poltergeist on June 30th. It still knows what scares you, believe me, especially on the big screen. And now let's get started with the rest of The People Under the Stairs.